Sharon Danley here, the Common Sense Advocate. Well, I watched the entire Gong show of the Senate hearings in regard to Brett Kavanaugh's appointment to the Supreme Court, as well as the submissions prior to the vote. I believe Dr. Ford, and I believe Brett Kavanaugh doesn't possess the judicial tone or temperament to do the job he applied for in the highest court in the U.S. And he was completely out of line in his lack of respect during the questioning process. There were simply too many unanswered questions about his behavior, alleged drunkenness, and disrespect for women shown in his yearbook and other unanswered issues. His refusal to request an FBI investigation or even take a polygraph test shows clearly he has something to hide, and in my books, that makes him a liar. Republicans suggested that the 4 witnesses Dr. Ford presented refuted her statement, when in fact they said they didn't remember, is scathingly wrong. That is a very big difference, and they know it. And then to have the gall to suggest they believed her, but that it probably was someone else rather than Kavanaugh, is simply classic attempts to gaslight her. This corrupt hearing was filled with political gamesmanship and arrogance, especially from the Republicans, but mostly from Chairman Grassley, who is an ideal representative of a misogynistic old man who has never grown out of his prejudices. Good that Republican Senator Blake, who had been shamed to request a week postponement for a proper investigation by the FBI, as it should be, but he voted for in the end. And a huge bravo to the 2 women who confronted Blake in the elevator with their grievances on behalf of so many women. Their strength to stand up made a tiny difference. Unfortunately, the extremely limited FBI background check wasn't anything close to finding the truth. It was a false flag in the truest sense. It excluded all necessary witnesses for corroboration and to find all the facts in the various allegations of sexual abuse by this man Kavanaugh. The hearing was simply not the place to play courtroom, nor the place to use Ford and Kavanaugh as pawns in the game of power. And the Senate, or the President, should not have directed the FBI on how to do their job. This so-called limited and tightly reined investigation was simply an outlandish circus. This Gong show was the most outrageous, elitist, closed-minded, misogynistic circus I've ever witnessed, and I've witnessed a few. The U.S. of terror is going down the toilet at warp speed. There is no democracy. There is no respect. There is no fairness. There is division. There is elitism. And there is corruption. Anybody with even one brain cell on active duty can see right through this misogynistic joke. This latest circus of the Republicans grabbing power and ramrodding Kavanaugh through by any means possible, while they delayed Obama's selection for an inordinate amount of time, shows us clearly how America is failing miserably. To all the women and the men who see through this charade of partisanship, hidden agendas, and cloaked misogyny, I pray we start coming together to stand strong and stand against this growing scourge on the citizenry. Demand the removal of the statute of limitations and non-disclosure agreements in every state, province, and country on the planet. Speak to whoever has the power in your corner of the world and demand these changes, just like Anna Maria Archila and Maria Gallagher did with Senator Blake, which got minimal results, and all the other women who bravely and at very great cost to themselves and their families speak up for the greater good. Together, we can make a difference and set a much higher standard away from the frat boy, misogynistic behaviors that are still too entrenched across society. We may not have political, sexual, or economic equality, but we do have great power by what we don't do or buy en masse. Are you with me?